Hi. Let's study the poisonous Herald of Thunder build for a Pathfinder. Herald of Thunder is one of the most popular skills for autobomber builds. It's a type of build in which your skills have no cast time, so you don't even have to use them. Such builds are fast, as you don't need to stop, and are great against bosses with their perfect damage uptime. To poison with hits from this skill, you will convert all your lightning damage to chaos with Voltaxic Rift. This bow also allows you to shock with chaos damage, which is nice. We can accommodate an additional 6 link setup, as the primary damage source is fully automated. We've picked lightning arrow socketed in Voltaxic Rift. The lightning arrow shocks as if dealing 300% more damage, and any attack fired with this unique bow has the same effect, making it 600%. It will also be linked to the overcharge support, adding another 690%. That's a very potent shock. Now all you need is a 100% chance to poison, which in this case is sourced from Dendrobate body armor, a few passives, and modifiers for the missing 20% on a quiver or gloves. Pathfinder is one of the best classes for a poison build due to the nature's reprisal and master toxicist passives. We're using Herald of Thunder with the Lone Messenger and 2 Storm Secret Rings to extract all the damage from it. It will deal poison damage. Lightning Arrow won't do much, but it's here to cause a powerful shock. It causes an enemy to take increased damage. The build can have all of its utility flasks up permanently. Use them for more elemental resistances, evasion, mobility, and to reduce lightning damage taken from unique rings with a topaz flask. It has a lot of spell suppression chance and life recoup, but lacks evasion and armor. Clear speed is excellent, especially if you manage to fit Plaguebearer and more movement speed. Single target damage is not exceptionally high, but good enough for most content in the game. Most items are very cheap, only the amulet, and some jewels are very expensive. We're using unique body armor, a weapon, rings, and preferably an amulet too. Voltaxic Rift, Dendrobate, Storm Secret, ×2, and Replica Dragonfang's Flight are the best in slot or irreplaceable items. That's great news since items in these slots are usually the most expensive ones. You will also need unique jewels, calamitous visions, and the combination of Bloodnotch with immutable force. Voltaxic Rift converts all the lightning damage to chaos, thus allowing you to poison. It extends the maximum effect of shock and allows your freshly converted damage to shock. The attack speed roll is not important. Dendrobate is quite important as the built-in chance to poison is needed. You can't use Herald of Agony after all. You should also activate its bonuses by gathering at least 300 dexterity and 150 intelligence. Replica Dragonfang's Flight. This new amulet is the best one for a lot of builds that rely on a single spell for most of the damage, including this one. Get one that increases the level of your Herald of Thunder. If it's too expensive, get a regular rare amulet with only 1 extra level to all lightning gems. 2 Storm Secret Rings will be necessary. It activates Herald of Thunder's Storm on shock so that you can rely on it in boss areas. It increases the frequency of Storm's hits by up to 50% each and damages your character, so you will need a good recovery and high resistance. Lone Messenger from Calamitous Visions grants 100% more damage and 50% more effective Herald buffs for your Herald of Thunder. You're not allowed to have any aura and only 1 Herald on. You can use Bloodnotch in combination with Immutable Force and Energy Shield Mastery to shift your stun threshold to Energy Shield. It will make you recoup a lot of life from stunning hits, which includes the self-damage from Storm Secret Rings. You can use Immutable Force in combination with Bloodnotch and the aforementioned Energy Shield Mastery. It will make you unaffected by stuns. You don't need the highest roll here, 961% should be enough to make the stun duration 0 due to it being shorter than a server tick. It's easy to gain 100% spell suppression in this build. Go for Ancestral Vision Jewel for a chance to avoid elemental ailments. The remaining 50% can be gathered from passives like Tolerance Notable. On your rare gear, get Maximum Life, Elemental Resistances, Spell Suppression, Chaos Resistance, and that's basically it. Reservation efficiency on a helmet is highly optional, accuracy is not needed at all. You will get a lot of dexterity and intelligence from the skill tree, but 155 strength will be needed for Petrified Blood and Immortal Call. We're also using Eldritch Battery, so you don't need mana regeneration or anything like that. On a helmet, aim for maximum life, resistances, and spell suppression chance. Mana reservation efficiency and attributes can be found here too if needed. Quiver, if influenced by Elder or Hunter, may grant you the extra 20% chance to poison on hit. It's the easiest way to get that missing 20%, but if you don't need that, just get the maximum life, resistances, attributes, additional arrow, or extra pierce. Boots should get you maximum life, resistances, movement speed, and suppression chance, as much as you can afford. Gloves, similarly to boots, should provide you with life, resistances, attributes, and suppression. Don't seek any influenced mods, the implicits from Eldritch Orbs can be quite good here. Eater's Implicit can give you the missing 20% chance to poison on hit. On the belt, get maximum life, resistances, and strength. Chaos resistance and flask modifiers will be useful here too if you can afford them. Jewels are the best place to look for attributes, resistance, maximum life, and some of the offensively oriented poison-adjacent modifiers. We've used 2 large cluster jewels. Go for 2 or 3 chaos-related notables on a jewel with 8 passives. 3 or 4 medium cluster jewels with herald-related notables, notably Lasting Impressions and Empowered Envoy, are a great way to upgrade the build. If you have taken the route to Elemental Overload, you should get at least 2 medium cluster jewels with Self-Fulfilling Prophecy passive to give your Herald of Thunder increased base critical strike chance to trigger it. Taste of Hate. Use it to take less cold damage, shift a portion of physical damage to be taken as cold, and a chance to avoid chill and freeze. Progenesis is very expensive but extremely good for a build like this. You take a lot of damage constantly, so the recoup is crucial. The Chaos Resistance is also useful. The effect of this flask will be increased due to Pathfinder's passives. For your other flasks, get a life one with increased charges gain or reduced charges used and bleed immunity, Topaz Flask to take less lightning damage, and a Ruby or Quicksilver Flask to take less fire damage, or to move faster. These should get you extra elemental resistances, and reduce the effect of curses or ailments with their suffixes. Herald of Thunder setup shall be socketed in Dendrabate. Link it with Elemental Focus, Deadly Ailments, Void Manipulation, Unbound Ailments, and added lightning damage. If you don't have an awakened version, you can substitute it with Cruelty support. Chance to poison is sourced from Dendrabate. Lightning Arrow, socketed in Voltaxic Rift, is used to apply a powerful shock. Use it to trigger storms, against bosses, and rare enemies. Link it with Overcharge, Additional Accuracy, Unbound Ailments, Enervate, and depending on your preferences, Volatility for a chance of more damage, or multiple projectiles so you won't have to aim. Temporal Chains Curse increases poison duration and slows down the enemy. Despair Curse lowers chaos resistance so that you deal more poison damage. We found it very efficient to apply these curses on hit with Vortex as your movement key. Link them to Hextouch support. Petrified Blood prevents you from recovering life above half of your life pool, but you can still do so with life flasks, which you will constantly have charges for as a Pathfinder. It takes a portion of incoming hit damage and makes part of it damage over time, giving you time to recover it back. It applies only to the lower half of your life pool. Arctic Armor makes you take less fire and physical damage while stationary, and grants freeze immunity. It requires a lot of mana reservation efficiency to fit it, so you may want not to take it at all. Link them with Enlightened support to reserve less mana. We recommend using Firestorm and Stormbrand, as 2 spells that can quickly apply shock on enemies and trigger more storms via Storm Secret Rings. Both hit enemies multiple times with each cast, and will have enough added damage from greatly buffed Herald of Thunder, allowing you to use them on such low levels efficiently. You can also add Divergent Purifying Flame, which will increase all damage taken by enemies affected by its consecrated ground. All the spells should be used at low level and linked to level 1 cast when damage taken gem. Flame Dash is a simple mobility skill to dash. Withering Step grants you elusive buff on use, and applies multiple withered stacks quickly. Depending on the number of spells you have selected in the previous cast when damage taken setup, you may need to use Ornate Quiver to socket it. Kill all the bandits for the 2 additional skill points. Soul of Lunaris seems like the best option. It protects you from projectiles and increases your clear speed in crowded areas. It reduces elemental damage taken by 6%. Soul of Gruthkul is an excellent minor god. It grants an additional physical damage reduction for each hit you've taken recently up to a maximum of 5%. You are getting hit constantly. On the passive skill tree, go for Poison Chance, Poison Damage, Reservation Efficiency, Life Recoup, Spell Suppression, Flask passives, and Maximum Life. Picking up Eldritch Battery is a must for this build to work, and you can also allocate Elemental Overload if you want to min-max your damage. This variant, however, will require you to use Cluster Jewels with the Self-Fulfilling Prophecy passive so that it can be triggered in the first place. Keep in mind that nodes in the Serpentine Spellslinger cluster will get you no extra poison chance. While Herald of Thunder is considered to be a spell, its hits are not spell hits. For masteries, get 50 extra maximum life and 15% increased maximum life if there's no life mod on your body armor as your 2 life masteries. Energy Shield Mastery to shift your stun threshold to Energy Shield. Poison Mastery to deal damage faster and to disable enemies' critical strikes. And Spell Suppression Mastery to make it lucky if it's not capped. That is all you need to know about this build. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.